Good morning, students. This is geography class. The topic we have this morning is drainage of Nigeria. But before we proceed, let's look at the objectives. By the end of this class, you should be able to define drainage. That means you should be able to tell us the meaning of drainage. You should be able to identify rivers in Nigeria, the river basins and the lakes we have in Nigeria. You should be able to tell us the characteristics of Nigerian rivers. What are those things that we use to know Nigerian rivers? The next one is that you should be able to highlight the importance of rivers and lakes in Nigeria. You should also tell us, be able to state the reasons why the natural lake we have in Nigeria, that is Lake Chad, it is very shallow. Why is it shallow? These are the objectives. So let's go to the definition of drainage. What is drainage? Drainage refers to water bodies such as rivers, lakes, streams, and the rest of anything that has to do with water body refers to drainage. In Nigeria, we have two major rivers that drain Nigeria. I want to concentrate on rivers and lakes and talk little about the river basins. Nigeria is drained by two main rivers. What are the rivers? We have River Niger and we have River Benue. These are the two major rivers that drain Nigeria. River Niger is the largest river in Nigeria. It takes its source from Guinea Island. There's a country we call Guinea in West Africa. That is where it takes its source. It passes through Mali, then to Niger before coming to Nigeria. That is River Niger. It's very, very long. This is the map. You can see through the map. You can see the blue colors. The blue color, this is River Niger. Took its source from Guinea Island through Mali, then to Niger before coming into Nigeria. You can see the River Niger. From your western part of Nigeria, you can see River Niger as it drains. Then the second river is River Benue. This is River Benue. River Benue is the second largest river in Nigeria. River Benue takes its source from Eastern Highland and joins River Niger at Lokoja. So that place that it joined River Niger is known as a confluence town. That is, anywhere that two rivers join together is a confluence town. Lokoja is a confluence town in Nigeria. We also have other rivers in Nigeria that take their source from different hydrological centers. That is, their highlands that rivers take their sources. We have Western Island. Western Island have some rivers like River Ogun, River Use, and River Osun. These rivers take their source from Western Island and they flow directly to the Atlantic Ocean. They are short rivers. The rivers are not long. All the rivers that take their source from this hydrological center flow direct to Atlantic Ocean. So the next one is the North Central Highland. North Central Highland have such rivers as River Kaduna, River Hadija, River Zamfara, River Yobe, River Ghana, River Gongola, River Rima. These are the ones that take their source from North Central Island. They take their source and they flow in a radial direction. Some of these rivers flow straight to the lake. Some flow to join River Niger, while some flow to join River Benue. So these are the rivers that take their source from the North Central Island. We have the third hydrological center, which is known as Eastern Island. They have rivers like River Donga and River Katsina, Allah. We also have the Eastern Scarpland, that's from Udi Plateau. We have rivers that take their source, such as River Anambra and River Cross River. So you can see them from the map. You can see the map. We have Cross River, we have River Anambra, we have all these ones take their source from Udi Plateau, which is this Eastern Scarpland. Then we have Oshun, Ose, and Ogun from Western Island. We have River Gongola, Hadija, River Yobe. You can see them at the North Central Island. They take their source from North Central Island. Some you can see River Ghana taking source from North Central Island, flowing straight to Atlantic Ocean. You can see um, another river, River Yobe, to that same Lake Chad and Hadija. But some like River Kaduna, you can see it join River Niger and flow down to Atlantic Ocean. So we also have want to talk about the characteristics of Nigerian rivers. What are the characteristics of Nigerian rivers? What are those things you can use to describe Nigerian rivers? That's what we mean by characteristics of Nigerian rivers. Nigerian rivers have a lot of characteristics that you can use to identify them. Number one, we have the color changes with season. What do we mean by this? The color changes with season. During rainy season, you see that the color of water in the river is not always clear. At times it is to be dirty and muddy because of the rain. When rain falls, it will carry a lot of dirt from the ground and it will flow inside the river, so making the color not to be clear. But during dry season, you see, the water will be very neat and clear. That is color changes with season. We also have number two there, the volume of water changes with season. So the volume of water in the river do change with seasons. During rainy season, the body of the water will increase. That is, the quantity of water in the river will increase. But during dry season, it will reduce. So it decreases during dry season. So we have the third one there. Most rivers have short courses and they flow rapidly. Just as I told you, those three rivers in the western that take their source from Western Island, River Ose, River Oshun, and River Ogun, they have short courses. So most of the rivers, they take their source from mountains and they flow over a short distance before emptying themselves into the Atlantic Ocean. So most of the rivers have short courses, and these rivers that have short courses, they flow very, very fast, unlike the ones that are long. So the long rivers flow slower than the short rivers. So this is one of the characteristics of Nigerian rivers. Another one is that most rivers are shallow. Most of Nigerian rivers are very shallow. So we have shallowness. They are very shallow, they are full of silt. They are associated with high evaporation and seepage of water into the soil. So some of the rivers, as the river emerges, at times you see that the river will sink. There will be there will be drainage. The water will sink down, causing the water to be flowing very shallow. So there is no deepness in the river. So there is a shallowness in the river. So the next one is most rivers have lots of debris. So we are talking about debris. We refer to a lot of dead leaves, mud, wood, especially when rivers flow across the forest. At times you can see some leaves may fall off from the plants. Some branches of plants will break and fall inside the river. Some animals will die inside the river, even human beings, that some that don't know how to swim may be drowned in the water. So, and when they die, the river will carry them. So all these ones are referred to debris. So Nigerian rivers have it. The next one is Nigerian rivers have specific direction of flow. Yes, Rivers in Nigeria have their specific direction of flow. Like those three rivers I told you earlier, the river Ose, river Osun, and river Ogun. Those ones take their source from Western Highland and they flow straight into the Atlantic Ocean. That is their direction of flow. They cannot flow back to join River Niger so that River Niger will carry them to Atlantic Ocean. No. So they have their direction of flow. Then those rivers that take their source from the North Central Highland, I told you they flow to different directions. Some will flow to join the lake. Some will join River Benue. Then some will join River Niger. They flow in a radial direction. That is their specific direction of flow. So they can't change it. So most rivers in Nigeria have what? Their specific directions of flow. The next point is that most rivers have rapid and cataract. Yes. What do you mean by rapid and cataract? These are obstructions in the river that impede the movement of flow of water in the river. For example, if you are traveling down from Lagos, you are going to Ogun State, down to from Ondo, Ogun State, down, as maybe you are going towards Benin, you see some rivers along the road. You see some outcrops of rocks inside the river. And when the river is flowing, they will not stop flowing because of the rock that is inside the river. So they have to try to jump the river as they are flowing. So it will impede, it will reduce their movement. So you see that the water will be jumping across the rock. A jump of a lower dimension is known as rapid, but a higher dimension of jump is known as what? A cataract. That is one of the characteristics of Nigerian rivers. Again, Nigerian rivers changes with seasonality. What do we mean by this? It changes with seasonality. That is, most rivers flow during rainy season, but when it is dry season, you see some of them will stop flowing. Because they seep into the ground. Some of them will reduce their flowing. That is during dry season. But when it is rainy season again, they will surface again. You see that there is a big river here and the river will be flowing. Once it gets to dry season again, because of the volume of water have reduced, the movement will also reduce. These are the characteristics of Nigerian rivers. So let's talk about river basins in Nigeria. We talk about river basin. River basin refers to the area generally drained by river and its tributaries. That is, we are not talking about the water now. We are talking about the area, any depressed area in Nigeria that water is flowing around that place is known as what? A river basin. You can also refer a river basin as a catchment area. You can also refer river basin as what? Catchment area. In Nigeria, we have 5 major river basins. Going through the map, we have the Niger Basin. Through this map, you can see all these places that have white colors. All these white colors. We have Niger Basin. Yes, Niger Basin. This area, from this Sokoto area, you can see River Niger where it enters Nigeria down to where it meets River Benue. So that place is Niger Basin. We also have the Benue Basin. The Benue Basin, from the map, you can see the Benue Basin across this River Benue is a depressed area. All these places are depressed. They are not highland. They are lowland areas that rivers and their tributaries passes through them. So they are river basins. We have the Chad Basin. Chad Basin is around Lake Chad. That depressed area that you have around the northeast. That is the Chad Basin. We also have Cross River Basin. You can see Cross River Basin between this the Anambra River and this Cross River Basin. Then we have the South Atlantic Basin. That is this area that you have around the Atlantic Ocean. So around this area we have Ogun, Ose, Osun. This area that we have Lagos State. All this area, they are known as the South Atlantic Basin. So at the south, they are around the southern region of Nigeria. So this is about the river basins. These river basins are grouped into three classes. The three classes. We have rivers with large basins. We have long rivers. As I told you before, we have a long river like River Niger and River Benue. So these rivers have long, long basins. They are large. They flow for over a long distance before they drain themselves into Atlantic Ocean. So any river that flow over a long distance is not long rivers with large basin. Their basin is very, very large. We also have a short rivers with small basins. The rivers flow to the Atlantic Ocean. They take their source and they flow over a short distance. They're always very swift. The movement is always fast when they are flowing, but they flow straight into Atlantic Ocean. They don't need to join any river before they drain themselves into Atlantic Ocean. So they flow straight. As they take their source from the mountain, they flow straight and empty themselves to the Atlantic Ocean. We have such rivers like River Ogun, River Oshun. We have Cross River. So these rivers are short rivers with small basin. We also have rivers in basins of inland drainage. These rivers do not reach the sea. They don't go to the sea, but they flow straight into the lake. In Nigeria, we have a natural lake that is Lake Chad, where you have River Yobe, you have River Hadija, you have River Ghana. You can see them on the map. If you study your map very well, you can see they flow. These rivers take their source from North Central Island, but their direction of flow goes to the Atlantic Ocean. So they empty themselves the the lake instead of going to Atlantic Ocean. You can see them, they flow straight into Lake Chad. So that is it. So now we want to talk about the importance of river basins. What are the importance of river basins? River basins are a good site for settlements as a result of the fact that river basins are depressed lowland areas. It allows people to build their houses, their settlements, and carry out some agricultural activities in this area. It's suitable for agricultural purposes because it has a very fertile soil, like alluvial soil, because of the deposits of sediments around this area. So it is very good for agricultural purposes. It serves as a medium of communication. Medium of communication. Because of the presence of rivers in these depressed areas, because of the presence of these rivers, people engage in different activities like transportation. You see some boats, they will carry people from one area to another, just like the one we have at this Badagry. The Badagry area, we have a lagoon where people that are going to Lagos Island, they enter boats. We have flying boats inside this depressed area, the water bodies there. So they move in a short distance, they will always be at their destination. Unlike somebody moving from Badagry, you want to enter road to Mile 2 and you are going to Lagos Island, you take a very long journey before getting there. So it is very good for communication, that is transportation. They also serve as deposit for minerals. So these places we are talking about, river basins, have minerals such as petroleum, name it, any mineral deposits. So they are good site for it. They also site for water supplies. The area contains water, so we need water for domestic uses. You want to wash your clothes, you want to clean your house. There's nothing you do in a day without water. Even many people start their day with water. You wake up, you wash your face. All these ones are gotten from this depressed area known as river basins. Because of the presence of water too, it also gives job for some people like the fishermen, So it provides water for ground for where fishes can grow and you can produce your fish. These are the importance of river basin. So this takes us to the lakes we have in Nigeria. Then what is a lake? A lake is defined as a body of water that is surrounded by land. The lakes we have in Nigeria are of two categories. We have artificial lakes, also known as man-made lake. We also have natural lake. A man-made lake is the one that is produced by man. Example of a lake constructed by man in Nigeria. We have Lake Kainji. Lake Kainji is on River Niger. That is where a place that is dam for generation of electricity in Nigeria. We also have Shiroro Lake. This one is on a lake that is on River Kaduna. So the only natural lake we have in Nigeria is Lake Chad. Lake Chad. And we notice that this Lake Chad is not deep. It's a shallow lake. So, and there are some reasons why this reason for the shallowness of this lake, the only natural lake that's supposed to have plenty water, but it is very shallow. So there are some reasons why these lakes are shallow. But before then, let's go back to importance of Nigerian rivers and also Nigerian lakes. One, they serve as medium of transportation. I've explained medium of transportation before. People travel on water from one place to the other. It also helps in the generation of hydroelectric power, especially the lakes. When a lake that is dammed for generation, like Nigeria, we have Lake Chad that is dammed for generation of electric power. So that's where we get our supply of electricity. It also provides employment. Rivers and lakes in Nigeria provide employment. How do they give employment? People are fishermen. There are some people that is their job, that is their career, that is what they do for a living. So they engage in fishing. So because of the presence of rivers in Nigeria, because of presence of lakes, people are able to engage in fishing activities. It also gives employment for those people that are engaged in boat making. People that make boats for these fishermen to pass through the water and also for carrying people from one place to the other. So it has given them employment. We also have, and another point there, that there are sources of food supply. In Nigeria, most of the fish we eat, our crayfish, the crab, and all those aquatic animals we get from water, they are supplied by Nigerian rivers. So we get our food from rivers and lakes. Another point there is that rivers and lakes help in the formation of fertile soils. Because when the river is flowing at times, the river may be overflooded, and as they are overflooded, they can carry some materials and deposit it at the bank of the river. All those areas become fertile because of the accumulation of material that has been deposited over a long time. They will sediment together and form what is known as flood plain or alluvial plain, which is very, very fertile for agriculture. So this is another importance of rivers in Nigeria. Also, river water is used for domestic uses. River provides water for us, and all the water it provides for us are used for domestic uses, for the cleaning and for washing and the rest of them. This water also is used by industries for their production. So there are many industries in Nigeria, they make use of water. Hardly do you see industry that don't use water. So many industries such as textile industries, we have brewery, chemical industries, they make use of water. So rivers provide such water. Also, river provide water for irrigation. If you go to northern side of Nigeria, that they don't have much rain, but they engage in agriculture every time of the year. They can even cultivate twice, 3 times in a year because of the presence of many rivers. You remember in the north central highland we have a lot of rivers. So if you go to Kano, Kaduna, you go to all these areas, even when they don't have enough rain, they have to engage in agriculture because of irrigation. That is artificial application of water to farmlands. They can channel water from the river down to their farmland. So river in Nigeria provide water for irrigation purposes. Some rivers in Nigeria are attraction of tourist attraction centers, even recreational activities carried out in Nigerian rivers. So that is one of importance of a river. Take example from this Ikogosi warm water spring. People go there for tourism. They want to see that a part of the water will be cold while the other side is warm. So they will just want to see. So that one is part of its center of tourist attraction. Another point is that some rivers in Nigeria are good site for construction of river ports. So when things are brought abroad, like they know importation and exportation takes place in Nigeria. So there are some places that cannot get to where you have a seaport. So river ports do help in distribution of these goods to areas where they cannot get to. So those are the importance of Nigerian rivers. So let's go on to see why is it that Lake Chad, the inland drainage in Nigeria, the only natural lake we have in Nigeria, is very shallow. What are the reasons? One, the first reason is that the five rivers that supply water to Lake Chad are shallow because they flow through a semi-desert area. As they are flowing, they flow very sluggishly. They pass through this semi-desert. So before getting to the lake, most of the water is lost through evaporation and percolation into the soil, then leading to reduced flow of water into the lake. So these five rivers that supply water into the lake, they are very, very shallow. So because they are very shallow, the volume of water they carry is not large. So that is why it is shallow. Another point is that the tapping of some rivers by River Benue. So some of the rivers that they're supposed to supply water straight to the lake, it's being tapped by River Benue. By the time we go further in geography, you will know what we mean by this. We study it when we'll be studying, when we'll be learning river capture, where you have a bigger volume of water capturing a smaller body of water, then they redirecting the flow. So the place it was flowing before, it can no longer flow to that direction. So River Benue has done that so to some of the rivers that are supposed to supply water to Lake Chad. Therefore, it will now reduce the volume of the water getting to Lake Chad. Another point is that Lake Chad has been suspected to experience underground seepage. So it is being suspected that there is a drainage going on in Lake Chad, that any water that enter there, some of them will evaporate, some of them will sink into the soil. That is it. So there is a seepage of Lake Chad water to nearby oasis. You know what oasis is? Oasis means to a pool of water in the desert. So it's in a desert area. So some of the water will sink down, and some of the oasis will collect the water. That's why Lake Chad is also shallow. Another point there is that Lake Chad is located in the Sahara Desert. So you know what goes on in the desert. If you remember the characteristics of the desert is always dry, very hot. You don't have plants there, and it's very sandy. So it is located in such area. So most of the water will sink into the soil. So the water will experience high evaporation. So therefore, there is no deepness in this Lake Chad. It brings shallowness. So that is it. So going back to where we started, you know that in this lesson now we have learned the meaning of drainage. As to wrap up this learning, we've learned today that uh, drainage is just water bodies, which refers to um, rivers, stream, and the rest of them, anything that contains water. But we concentrated in rivers, lakes, and river basins in Nigeria. We've been able to learn that River Niger is the largest river, even in the whole of West Africa, is the largest, and is very, very long. We have the second largest larger river as River Benue. We also learned the characteristics, those things that we can use to identify Nigerian rivers, such as seasonality, the volume changes. During rainy season, it will increase. During dry season, it reduces. We're able to talk about the importance of Nigerian rivers. Nigerian rivers, such as giving employment to people and some other importance. We'll talk about the lake as a body of water that is surrounded by land. Now in Nigeria, we have two important lakes. One, we have a artificial lake, and we also have a natural lake. And that the only natural lake we have in Nigeria is Lake Chad. And with the artificial one is Kainji, which supply electricity to the whole of Nigeria. So we also were able to talk about the reasons why there is shallowness in Lake Chad. We talk about the evaporation that takes place and the seepage of water into the ground. So these are what we have learned today. Thank you very much, and God bless you.